Hello Freedom Family, it's New Year's Eve and this video is about wrapping up the great things that happened in 2024 and talking about the great things that are going to happen in 2025. So let's start off with the great things that happened in 2024. And first and foremost, I want to talk about the court cases that people have won in 2024 that have been really important for Australia and maybe the world. So first you have William Bay, Dr. William Bay, who was suspended for talking out about the vaccine as a doctor, and now he has his license back. So that's a huge win, not just for Australia, but for everyone. Then you have Moira Deeming, who was called a Nazi sympathiser by the opposition leader of the Liberal Party in Victoria, and she won her defamation case. She's back in the party, and I think that is a huge win for common sense and for women's rights overall. And then, of course, we have my court case, which I sued the Victoria Police for 3 unlawful arrests, and I won 2 out of the 3 arrests, which is a huge win. Of course, you may know that I also got ordered to pay all the costs of the other side, upwards of $250,000, but don't worry, I'm appealing that. It was still a win and I'm going to take it anyway. We also really pushed back against the misinformation bill all over Australia, and we won. The misinformation bill was obviously conquered well and truly. Now, of course, we have the under 16 social media ban, such and such thing that came straight afterwards, which, you know, the misinformation bill was a bit of a distraction for that one, and we didn't really have much time to plan for that. But you know what? I don't think that's a problem because implementing it is going to be a lot harder than legislating it, if you know what I mean. Overall, though, in Australia, I think that wokeism is not cool anymore at all. You know how, the Conservatives would do something and the woke lefties would like kick up a stink and they would win. Well, we're actually winning now. For example, a huge chain of pubs in Australia banned Australia Day, or they didn't want to celebrate Australia Day. And there was so much online pushback against that they actually retracted their comment. I think that is a huge, huge win for Australia and for wokeism in general. And, of course, anti-wokeism, I should say. And, you've got to say, Trump, I'm not like a huge fan of the person in general, but I'm a huge fan of what he represents, which is going against the agenda, going against the World Health Organization and so forth. That was a massive win. And obviously those things are actually filtering down to Australia, and that's really, really amazing. And we should see a win when it's there. The other thing is in the state elections in Queensland, Liberals defeated Labor. Now, I know a lot of you aren't Liberal fans. However, you probably hate Liberals less than Labor. So that should be a win as well. So the Liberal government won in Queensland by a landslide, and that was really amazing. And talking about elections, we had the New South Wales and the Victorian Council elections, and oh my goodness, so many freedom-loving people got into council in New South Wales and Victoria, and that should give us a lot of hope. We also had a new organisation come up called the Aligned Council of Australia, and that emboldens I think over 40 different organisations around Australia, and they've done such a great job. Now, if you go to the link in the description of this video, you can see all the links to all the things that I'm talking about, okay? So Aligned Council of Australia, you should definitely subscribe to that, and that is something that has happened in 2024 that Australia should be very proud of. I personally did a tour around Australia. I went to over 90 events all across Australia. I personally met intimately over 6,000 freedom lovers all over Australia. And for me, that is absolutely one of the highlights of my life. But for you, what that should mean is that I intimately know the freedom movement in Australia, and it is absolutely beautiful. And I'm so proud to be a part of this movement. And things that you see online about freedom people being X, Y, and Z, it's not true. Freedom people are amazing. They're just like you. They're just like me. They just love Australia and they want a better future for the next generation. So that was absolutely amazing for me to meet so many people and to know wholeheartedly that I'm a part of something that is very beautiful. So if I am proud to be a part of this movement after meeting 6,000 of you intimately, you should be proud to be a part of this as well. On my tour, my mum joined us on my tour and started to talk about radiation protection. And we have helped so many people not push back, that's the wrong word, but we've helped so many people with their health, around radiation, and that has really opened my eyes to what people are going through. And again, all the links are in the description of this video. You know, we've sold a lot of products, and people are just so happy with how it has changed their life. Also, when I was on tour, I had we have these little radiation stickers on the back of our phones, and I got them customized, and they say, "We are ready." So every time someone looks at their phone, they're reminded that we are ready. Ready for what, you might say? Well, ready for anything. That's my answer, okay? So they are all over Australia. Secondly, I had like thousands and thousands of freedom stickers printed. So they just say freedom and they go on the back of your car. And I have gotten rid of over 10,000 freedom stickers across Europe and Australia, and they are on people's cars and people are seeing them. And I think that that word in itself means a lot more than it used to mean, which is really important. So that's 2024. Now, what is going on in 2025? Well, the first thing is in January, we have Australia Day, and every year you guys know that there's all this political correctness stuff around Australia Day. Well, so far I know that there is a Australia Day parade in Melbourne, and they actually got denied permits from 2 different councils, which is very interesting. And I'll be doing a separate video about that after New Year's, when people are more attentive to those things. But I know that there's going to be a parade in Melbourne, and I know that there's also going to be a big event in Brisbane, and all of that information is in the link of this video, so just go check it out. I have appealed the cost order of my court case, so my appeal is lodged. They have lodged their defense, and now obviously with New Year's and stuff like that, we just have to wait for the response from the Supreme Court. But I think it's I'm very hopeful. I'm really happy with the arguments that we made, and that's happening in 2025. And also, of course, me going to prison for 22 days for absolutely no reason, or for a social media post, that's obviously another court case coming up, but I haven't even started preparing for that because I've been busy with the other court case, but I've got plenty of time for that, so don't worry, that is coming up in 2025. We also launched in 2024 Parents Taking Charge, which is an idea for parents to basically have appointments with the principals or the teachers and ask them questions about the sexual education and things like that. And I'm really, really passionate about this topic recently. I know personally Bernie Gaynor Jr., who has been fighting particular books in libraries and things like that. So I'm going to get really involved in pushing against the propaganda type books in libraries and things like that. So that's coming up. Parents Taking Charge. Go to the website. It's really simple. If you have kids in school, you should absolutely be at least looking at that and seeing if you can find out what is actually being taught at your school. It's better that you know than you don't know, because knowledge is power, so they say. We also launched in 2024 the Cashmore app, which is an app that shows you what businesses are going to offer you discounts for using cash. But it's also about keeping cash alive, and that did really well. In fact, it had so many downloads that we had quite a few glitches, unfortunately, that we couldn't really prepare for. So we're having to fix a few things, but it is going to come strong and hard in 2025. You'll see that. Cashmore. We want to support businesses that accept cash, but also welcome cash and care about keeping cash alive. So this is really important for businesses and for customers alike. Now, in 2025, I have a new, I wouldn't say it's a new strategy, but I am going to launch a huge political strategy. But it is going to be after the federal election, because if I launched it now, it would just be confusing, and there's nothing that we can do before the federal election, unfortunately. But that's coming out after the federal election. You'll see it won't be what you expect, but it is going to be really big. And we have the federal election in Australia coming up in 2025. And, my advice to you just very quickly is to find candidates that you like and support them. Unfortunately, we have far too many minor parties in the freedom movement, and it can be kind of confusing who to support. So I think the best thing to do is to support the people that you like in your area. I think that's the most important thing. I plan to go to New Zealand this year on tour with my dad and hopefully my mum as well. So if you're interested in hosting me in New Zealand, just go to the link in the description of this video, and it has a link in there that you can invite me. And it's super, super easy. All you do is hire out a pub room or even outdoors. I don't even care. I'll just come. I don't need accommodation. I don't need money. I don't need anything from you. All I need is you to host me. I will promote it to my New Zealand database. I have quite a large New Zealand database in my emails, and I will come and we will create more community groups together, and it's going to be amazing. So if you are in New Zealand and you want to host me, fill out the form in the link in the description, and I will see you in New Zealand in 2025. Dates are to be confirmed. Also, I don't know if you guys remember, but about a year and a half ago, there was this event called We Are Ready, and there was over 200 events Australia-wide on the same day. It was so incredible. What I love about these events is that they aren't protests, they're community group events. So it is an opportunity for people who aren't connected with the community, with the freedom movement community groups, to come and to meet people. Because honestly, I cannot tell you enough, I cannot stress to you enough how important it is to connect with your local freedom community, because they are going to be the people who have your back when stuff hits the fan. And we didn't have these community groups when stuff hit the fan before COVID, did we? Now we have an opportunity to form these groups so that no matter what they do, we don't care, because we're ready for whatever they do, because we have each other. It's going to be, I actually honestly can't wait for them to try to push the thumb down again, because honestly, we're going to smash it. I'm telling you, we are going to do so well. We already did so well. So imagine if they tried to do it again. So that was a lot of information, but I am so grateful for 2024. I'm so grateful to have met all the people along the road in Europe and in Australia. You know exactly who you are. I stayed at your house. I shared a meal with you. I broke bread with you. We had great conversations, and you know, I'm so hopeful that we are not the minority. We are absolutely the majority, because I've traveled and everyone is awake, okay? It's just that they've been scared to speak out, and it's changing. Things are changing. People are speaking out, and we don't have to be afraid to say what we think anymore, because actually everyone else is thinking the same thing. So do not be afraid. The only way to beat censorship is to say what you think when you think it. And that is how we beat censorship. And it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for 2025. I can't wait to showcase my political strategy, which, by the way, they are going to hate, because it is doable, it is achievable, and I think we're going to really do really well. So happy New Year to everybody, and have a look at the things I've talked about. These radiation products are really helping people. The Cashmore app is up and running, ready to go. And, you know, we're just going to keep kicking goals together. It's been great. And Freedom Family, I love you so much. Happy New Year. Have a great 2025. See you around.